When we think back to the cartoons we enjoyed as children, things like Scooby-Doo, the Flintstones and the Transformers immediately come to mind. But when you think a little harder, you start remembering a few gems that haven't crossed your mind in decades. One such gem was a cartoon called Wonder Wheels from Hanna-Barbera, which for the American audience was part of the Saturday morning schedule in the late 70s as a segment on the show The Skatebirds. As I grew up in the UK, Wonder Wheels was introduced to me in the early 80s on the show, Glenn Michael's cartoon Cavalcade. Sadly, Glenn Michael passed away recently, but he did make it to the ripe old age of 99, so he certainly had a good innings. The show followed Willie Wheeler, a teenage journalist, and his transforming motorcycle, Wonder Wheels, a seemingly ordinary, dilapidated red bike that turned into a high-tech crime-fighting machine with a mind of its own. Willie was voiced by none other than Mickey Dolenz of the Monkees, and his voice and mannerisms bear more than a similar resemblance to Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Wow, what a story!
Willie was accompanied on his adventures by his girlfriend, Dooley Lawrence, and in true superhero fashion, she is oblivious to Willie's alter ego. Each episode started with Willie struggling to keep up with Dooley due to the fact that his bike was basically held together with tape. They would then encounter a crime that needed to be solved, and at that point, when out of sight of Dooley, Willie would utter the words,
"This sounds like a job for Wonder Wheels!"
Wonder Wheels would save the day and then vanish into the sunset, at which point Willie would show up and Dooley would tell him what he had missed. It was an extremely simple concept, but as each episode was under 6 minutes long, it was all action with absolutely no filler, which is exactly what children wanted to see. This cartoon was well ahead of its time, and the idea of an ordinary-looking vehicle transforming into a crime-fighting machine wouldn't become mainstream until shows like Knight Rider and the M.a.s.k cartoon debuted some years later. As the Skatebirds show only lasted for 16 episodes from September 1977 until January of 1978, so too did Wonder Wheels. But what a wonderful 16 episodes they were. When I think back to watching Wonder Wheels, I'm reminded of the cold Sunday afternoons watching ITV, who incidentally catered to the younger audience on the so-called day of rest much more than the stuffier BBC ever did. A typical Sunday for me would be watching Wonder Wheels on Glenn Michael's cartoon Cavalcade, then being terrified by Zelda on Terrorhawks before enjoying the game show Bullseye. Did this bring back any memories for you? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.